Hello everyone, welcome to a review of this, a 2019 Kia Rio. So this is the latest shape Kia Rio, and isn't she an absolute beauty? If you remember the latest, the first iteration of the Kia Rio that came to the UK, my goodness, talk about an ugly duckling blossoming into a swan. Okay, this might not be quite a swan in terms of the looks, but it is absolutely fantastic, I think, when you compare it to the original Kia Rio, and I'll try and get an insert of that in this video right now. But as you can see, it has a very sophisticated look now. Nice aggressive front lights there without being too showboaty, but although it's South Korean, it's got quite a Germanic, solid stance to it, doesn't it? So if we look at the side profile, look at that. It's very nice, very nice. No massive fussy lines or anything like that. There are some slight indentations to try and make sure. Can you see? Yeah, look. There's some lines there just to break up the big metal doors there. And it's worked, I think. It looks very svelte. And at the back, look at that, lovely. I think it's very symmetrical, very nice. Not overly showy, but not too frumpy either. It looks very nice indeed. Fantastic stance. And this is the top of the range one I've got, so it has got the snazzy alloys and all that. It has got the snazzy alloys and everything like that. And if we have a look at the interior, it's got the leather seats, you've got parking sensors, heated leather steering wheel, heated seats there. But here's one of the downsides to these Kias, right? Look at this. The carpet, the pile, is like, I've seen A4 printing paper with thicker pile than this. Look at this, it's just absolutely really bad. You wouldn't, that's really not good. One of my bugbears with all these Korean cars, they cheap out on the carpeting, so that's literally cardboard really. It feels like sprayed on cardboard. But when this is the top of the range, it's not becoming of it, is it really? Other than that, if you see the design of the dash, everything is lovely. The sat-nav screen is plonked on right at the driver's eye view, so you're not looking down, so it's nice and safe. And all the climate controls are on a button basis, so fantastic, nice and easy to use. The seats are nice and supportive. And at the back, in terms of leg space, it's not too bad. This is the sister car to the Hyundai i20, if I haven't already mentioned. But I think this one looks a little bit better than the Hyundai, to be fair with you. Leg room is not too bad, and there's a little bit of space underneath because the seats are on plinths there to get you in and out, and then the doors open relatively wide there. It's just this angles in, so it can be a little bit of an annoyance when you're trying to get the baby seat in. But there's Isofix in there, hidden away somewhere underneath there. But as you can see, the bolsters are nice, they're quite long therefore, and even in the middle it's not too narrow, so the third passenger is not short-changed. However, if you've got two, one of the things I really like having is an armrest. And look, even though this is the top spec one, there's no armrest. How disappointing is that? But nonetheless, it's nice and comfy, and it's not too low, so you can plonk yourself in quite easily. If you've got mobility difficulties, shouldn't be a problem at all. And then the windows themselves, they're not the biggest in the world, but what can you do? Yeah, so they're not the biggest in the world, as I was saying, but they'll do. It doesn't compare to, say, like an equivalent Honda Civic or something like that, but I think they're acceptable, I would say, without being outstanding. And that's the thing about this car, really. It's like one of these, it's made to be just your workhorse, get you from A to B, no fuss. Look at the boot. nice big boot, but again, as you can see, the carpet lining is absolutely dreadful. There's a huge load lip there, and then when you fold down the seats, you got another load lip on there. So I know it's got the hook there, but this is quite flimsy, so I wouldn't risk it if I were you. I would say it will break quite easily, so I wouldn't risk it. But otherwise, it's nice, big boot. So, without further ado, shall we go for a quick little drive? Pulling off, it's a little bit hesitant, as if you're about to stall or something, but that's just the nature of this automatic gearbox. But once it gets going, it's nice and smooth, and the 1.4 feels plenty powerful enough. Yeah, it's got good poke to it. In terms of the general driving dynamics, the car does feel very fidgety, to be honest with you. Even the slightest undulations are just making it like bop around a little bit. I'm always having to make sure the steering wheel is all straight and stuff like that. So that's not the best in the world. But other than that, for the job it's required to do, it's pretty good. And visibility is very good. Mirrors are nice and big, and it's light steering. The steering doesn't really have too much feel to it, but really, Kia didn't design it for sporting pretensions. It's an ATB car, isn't it? And for that purpose, it's okay. The only downside, I just feel like the ride is a little bit fidgety. Other than that, it's a nice place to be. As you can see, nice interior, and of course, it does help that I've got a fully spec'd out one with the heated steering wheel and all that. I like the steering wheel design, by the way, nice and sporty. So there you go, let's get to the final review. So what do I think of the car overall? Well, it looks very nice. They're nice economical cars, really, no fuss, A to B. And obviously their Kias are not as cheap as they used to be, and they do have the benefit of a 7-year warranty from the manufacturer. So in that regard, it's quite good peace of mind. Obviously, I'm not really a big fan of the driving dynamics, and as I've said already, I'm not really very enamored by the very poor quality carpets, but it's fully featured, very practical, very economical. They're usually cheap to insure as well. Parts can be a bit on the expensive side. Can't win them all, eh? But otherwise, lovely, lovely car. Would I get one above, say, a Toyota Yaris or the Corolla or the Honda Jazz? Yeah, I think those are better cars, and then the Polo has the more sophisticated ride. And I think overall, my choice, if you're going to go for like a 2019, 2020 plate car, I would opt for the Polo. But remember, it is about a couple of grand extra for the equivalent Polo versus this Kia Rio. But longer term, they hold their value, don't they? But don't get me wrong, lovely, lovely car this, and miles better than it originally was back in the day. So I would recommend it. Nice, no fuss car, very reliable. I just prefer something like a Polo, to be honest with you, because I just think overall that's a better package. What do you think? Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Ta-da!